Hello, in this one freeze, arrow, critical and maximize builds, let's check what makes this skill good early and late game. Skill board, zodiac, charms, relic techniques and more is coming up next. Before diving into build, there is a few problems that needs to be addressed. First, area of effect doesn't work correctly on this skill. For example, concentrated area damage link rune on skill board increases overall damage of freeze arrow, while zodiacs with area damage doesn't. Looks like a bug, but even with it, progression on this build should be good enough. It's not as strong as other projectile builds, but let's hope for more buffs later. Early skill board. On freeze arrow, we want to have additional cold damage, multi-shot, confidence, quick attack, chain, and shadow watcher. Chain is a blue link rune. It increases our multi-target damage. If you don't have it, use find weakness. For attack seal, it's seal of critical chance. For defensive seal, seal of dodge, but you can use any defensive seal that you have. Counter attack is a toggle that increases our dodge rate and inflicts pain, which increases our damage to enemies. All of the toggles are linked with dampen resource cost to maintain our mana. Attacks enhance is marksman, defense enhance is bulwark of protection. Both of enhances are linked with time acceleration and increased duration. Shadow provocation in here is for armor amplification and a little bit of damage. We have lingering shout, hushed shout, predator's roar, time acceleration, and buff activation when hit. With this, shadow provocation is gonna proc automatically whenever we take damage. For our movement abilities, we have trick shot, and this one is blue, and we have no other choice besides this. Roll, you can pick this up early. Both movement abilities are linked with disarm. Zodiacs for critical build, I'm gonna start with non-specialization nodes, but remember, you can use your points on specializations when you spend 22 points for first, 45 for second, and 70 for third. But to keep it simple, let's start with non-spec. Aphros, Swamp, Gold, Stem, Flash, Dewdrop, Rainbow, Breath, Dust, Scent, Stench, Artemis, Spider, Maggot, Leia, Atmospheric pressure. The spec is darkness, as we don't scale from area damage. Our best choice is to scale projectile damage. In darkness, projectile count, projectile damage amplification. If you have some issues with survivability and you have issues with mana, your choice is to remove some points. Which points you remove, it's up to you. Just check which makes you lose less damage. Stra, in here, Dance of Life, and projectile damage amp and perfect dodge. Nothing else makes sense in here. You could pick up some attack speed, but this early, it's unnecessary. You should be able to fix your attack speed without this. You're only gonna be able to spend 7 points in here, but after you finish questline in Saluto, the green questline, you're gonna get 2 extra points on your specialization 1 and specialization 2. Third spec is Fisherman. In here, chance to gain Falcon, projectile amp, and of course damage amp upon using movement skill. Either way, you're always gonna use movement skills on maps, so you should be fine. This is quite a bit of damage increase, and this is the best one. For a maximized build, again, a few changes on the skill board. First of all, we want to use Seal of Persistence. This is the best one, and it's necessary for the maximized build to work. On Freeze Arrow, we can add Extract Cold Energy. This is gonna give us damage amp and at the same time attack speed amp. Instead of Chain, we can use something like Persistence. However, I think Chain is just better. I wouldn't switch it for Persistence. But if you don't have Chain, Persistence is a good choice. On Zodiacs, there are a few changes also. So first of all, on Rainbow, we want to pick up Distort and Senses instead of Elaborate Attack. On Trait 9, instead of going Frost Shard, we want to pick up Powerful Cold Blow, as we don't care about the negative effect of the cold energies. Charm blessings, we want to start with Mirror City, Lava, and Castor. Don't do Alyssa, Alyssa doesn't work. Charm affixes for critical build, we want to have critical rate and critical damage always on our charms. The third affix is up to you. Maximize damage would be the best, however, getting something like HP multiplier, HP flat, some resistances, or even critical damage taken dampening is also a good choice. For a legendary prefix, we are looking for maximization chance, because whenever we are doing a critical build, they can also do maximize damage. That means getting maximization chance, which is both double maximization and triple maximization chance, is a really huge boost to our damage. If you can get maximization chance, the next best one would be strike damage amplification. This one is also gonna increase our damage by quite a bit. Getting something like critical damage is also a choice, but not really that huge of a damage increase. For a maximize build, we want to have damage multiplier and maximize damage multiplier as our two main affixes. The third one depends on you. If you want some defenses, you can go for HPs. If you want more offensive, you want to pick up damage when two-handed weapon equipped if you are using a two-handed weapon. If you are using one-handed weapon, that means you want damage when one-handed. For a legendary prefix, we only scale from strike damage amplification, and this is the only one we need. Relics, we want to start with Sebda. Pick up Enhanced Chaos Resist on passive, on active mental stimulation with cooldown recovery speed and increased buff effect. Second is Castor. In here we can choose Enhanced Strength or Enhanced Range. Both of them are good. Third is Aquila for cold penetration and cold damage. Last one is Boreal. It's only gonna be level 15, so we're picking up some extra HP in here. Uniques. For a critical build, you want to have Caster Refraction. It gives a flat critical rate and critical damage. This flat critical rate fixes all of our critical issues. On a maximized build, we want to have Band of Certainty. And together with Band of Certainty, we always want to use Seal of Persistence. Otherwise, their passive effect is not gonna work. And this ring is the main reason why we don't want to have any chance to deal double maximized or triple maximized, as this ring is more than enough. Masteries, weapon, armor. On the second, you can also pick up Solar Echo instead of Survival Instincts. Accessory, again on the second one, instead of picking up Strength and Center, you can pick up Quick Feet. Ultimate Masteries, in here the main point is to pick up Enhanced Potion. After that, I chose Mana. On the fourth, you always want to have Absolute Perfection and Spring of Inspiration. On the fifth, Excavator Soul. And with the leftover points, you can pick up some Synthesis Acceleration. Itemization, I'm gonna keep it simple and short. There are two types of weapons in this game. One type is with high critical base, in this case it's a bow and it's critical rate 11. And low critical base. On the bow, it's 7. What it means is that the lower the critical rate, the more attack damage we have. For a critical build, of course, we want to have a high critical base. And on the affixes, it's really simple. We run weapon flat, weapon speed, and because we are cold build, we want cold damage flat. On a suffix, gear critical rate multi, critical damage, and weapon damage. Of course, you're not going to be able to get this type of perfect weapon early. What you need to focus the most on a critical build is gear critical rate multiplier, weapon attack damage multiplier, and cold damage flat. If you have those three affixes, your bow is good enough. For a maximized build, we are looking for a low critical base weapon, as we don't care about crit. On affixes, it's basically the same, prefix is the same. On the suffix, we care only about attack damage multiplier, maximize damage multiplier, and the last one is cold damage multiplier. This how perfect maximized weapon looks like. Of course, you're not going to be able to get everything. At least focus on attack damage multiplier, cold damage flat, and maximize damage multiplier. I'm gonna show how to craft a chest, but this applies to any other piece of equipment that you are crafting. So in here, we always look for armor multiplier or whatever chest you are using. If it's a dodge, it would be gear dodge rate multiplier. You always want to have your main defense on an item. Then HPs. HPs is really important. Always roll it. For the suffix, what you're looking for is to fix your resistances and pick whatever resistances you want. For the last prefix, you can either go HP or even extra armor. If you want to craft it a little bit more offensively, hit rate is also good. So this is the main idea. You always want to fix your main defense and then your resistances. If you want to craft offensive piece of equipment, pick up a little bit more offensive affixes. However, do not lose your defense in order to pick up more damage. Skill board later into the game. There are quite a few changes in here. Let's go over those. First of all, we want to awaken our freeze arrow to source for damage dampening, and you want to aim for -5 or close to -5. On Shadow Archer's Verity Awakening, I added extract cold energy in here, but only use it if you're using trait 9 for the Frost Shard node. Without that node, you're gonna break your critical chance. Multi-shot, Verity Awakening, Mana Storm, Source Awakening, Concentrated Area Damage, Source Awakening, and Chain Source. Illusion Arrow in here is to extract Earth Energies for a little bit extra attack damage multiplier. On Illusion Arrow, we can go Verity. I added Veil of Protection as extra toggle, defensive toggle. It's either melee damage taken decrease or projectile damage taken decrease. You can choose whichever you want to use. On Marksman, it's Origin Awakening. I added Weakened Totem upon using Enhanced skill. On Weakened Totem, I have Enhanced Totem, awaken it into Source, but you can also do Origin. Both works. Source is a little bit more damage. Shadow of Justice, in here is to remove the hard crowd control. If you're using it together with buff activation upon crowd control, it's gonna do that automatically for you. Shadow Provocation and Marksman is linked with Enhance effect. This is just extra skill rune effect. Works really well. Seal of Striking instead of Seal of Critical Chance, cause at this stage you should have more than enough critical chance, and Seal of Critical shouldn't give you any damage. We want to get as much damage amplification as we can. For Maximize build, it's again the same. We want to use Seal of Persistence all the time. Seal of Striking doesn't work for us. I'm still using Mana Storm, but you can also add Persistence instead of Mana Storm if you have some mana issues. Energy is on a Maximize build. I'm gonna keep it short and simple. You do not need to do anything. I removed Mana Storm, added Extract Energy. On this one, you want to awaken it to Source in order to negate the -2 energies, and you want to get +2 energies on the Source Awakening. This way, you're already doing energies. We don't care about the negative effect of Cold Energy or Lightning Energy, as we are maximized, and because of Band of Certainty, it doesn't affect us. On the Illusion Arrow, instead of having Extract Earth Energy, you can pick up Center of Gravity and awaken it to Verity, as we're gonna be able to generate our energies just from Freeze Arrow. On Trickshot, I have Extract Energy awaken it to Origin, because this one gives us damage dampening per 1 energy possessed, which is a lot of damage dampening. On a critical build, things are much harder, and we need to have specific zodiacs to negate the negative effects of Cold Energy and Lightning Energy. And that zodiac is in trait 9. We want to have Electric Current Roll for Lightning Energy debuff effect reduction, and Frost Shard for Cold Energy debuff reduction. This is it. Don't forget to check the description, and see you in the next one.